if you were going to go out and, form a partnership and, a joint venture, right? A joint venture on an active investment, or, start a franchise with a business, with another partner, right? You're not creating a security. You're creating a joint venture.
Welcome to the Cash Flow Chronicles. I'm your host, Jonny and the founder of Catani Capital Group. For the last 2 years, I've been studying alternative assets and now help solve the problem of creating passive cash flow for creators, influencers, and busy professionals by bringing you 5 episodes a week of easy to understand education in the world of passive investing. What's up, guys? Welcome to another episode of the Cash Flow Chronicles. I'm your host, Jonny, and I am joined today by Travis Smith. Travis is a grateful husband, father, entrepreneur, fintech guru, and passive investor in real estate. He's the founder and CEO of Tribevest, which has built out the banking collaborative infrastructure of the private investing world. Tribevest transparent technology has made it easy and safe to invest as a group and do deals together in as little as 48 hours. Travis is part of the movement and one of millions of conventional Wall Street investors breaking through the financial and societal barriers, preventing most Americans from gaining access to the best real estate equity deals. Travis won't stop until every single deal on and off the internet is an opportunity for a multiplayer experience. He's building Tribevest, so you don't have to go it alone. Travis, welcome to the show.
Jonathan, thank you. Great to be here. I've been looking forward to this. Our paths have been destined to cross here, so been looking forward to this.
Yes, absolutely. I don't think I've actually told my audience. I should probably talk about some of. So aside from real estate investing, I've also done some, I guess you could call it VC. I don't know.
Angel investing. You're
angel
an angel
investing.
investor.
It's nothing big, but yes, I am an investor in Tribevest, the software technology itself, which is really awesome. Very excited to be part of their last round of funding. So I've wanted to connect with you, and the universe brought us together. So take us back. You come from Wall Street. We have that in common as well. Give us kind of the, Reader's Digest version, how this idea came to be, what you were doing before, and what led you to where you're at now.
Right. Yeah. So again, Travis Smith, founder and CEO of Tribevest. I graduated in finance and was recruited and trained by Morgan Stanley in New York City. The goal there was to become a financial advisor. I was motivated to, building wealth for myself and family, and how cool would it be to help others build wealth as well. And as you're all too familiar, that industry isn't necessarily the best place to help people build wealth. And often say I was saved by software. So went to work for a startup, a fintech startup. I was employee number 36. And throughout my career was in enterprise software, banking software, fintech software. And eventually, and just before Tribevest, was working with a company, a multi-billion-dollar fintech named Jack Henry and Associates, where they built the core software that 3,000 banks run on. And I headed up their strategic alliances in the enterprise payment space. So you can start to see how I might be uniquely positioned or qualified to start connecting the dots when it came to building out the banking infrastructure for the private investing world. And that's really what we built. Now, I think even more important to the origins of Tribevest is more my personal journey, which is probably a lot like your listeners here, and that was my brothers and I wanted to figure out a way to get into the private investing real estate world, and we had a lot of hurdles to overcome to get there.
Yeah, very common, right? As I begin to, when we talked offline, expand my network, right? There are a lot of hurdles, right? And one of them being just even knowing about the space and knowing that these opportunities are even available, which is fascinating considering, our access to information these days. And yet still not enough people know about the opportunities. So let's kind of get into it. For those who don't know, explain what Tribevest is, what it is you guys do, and kind of those hurdles and roadblocks that you're knocking down and for people.
Yeah, I think, probably to talk about the hurdles that are preventing us from, building wealth and finding that financial freedom, taking control. When you have ownership, you have options, and when you have options, you have freedom. And so, I think we all have this yearning for that, for financial freedom. And if we were all to kind of reflect, I know my brothers and I did 15 years ago. We had to think about, what the most successful people, the ones that are, living their best life, seem to have those ownership and options and freedom. What are they doing? And almost all of them, if not all of them, own a business, are investing in real estate. So that's 15 years ago, my brothers and I, we hit this moment when we really realized, if you kind of do the math, it was the Great Recession. So I think there's a lot of parallels to right now with the uncertainty, and then 15 years ago. And it was a lot of uncertainty. A lot of people we knew were being, getting laid off, and seeing how devastating that was, to be so dependent on your income from your employer. And that scared the heck out of us. So at the time, we all decided to read Rich Dad, Poor Dad, kind of getting into a new mindset and a better understanding of how things worked. And we said, listen, how do we become business owners, and how do we invest in real estate? And on a fishing trip that we couldn't afford, we came up with a plan. We said, listen, let's form a business. Let's form a multi-membered LLC partnership, start to pull capital, putting our initial capital in. And, doesn't sound like a lot now, but then it was a stretch for us. But we were each putting in $500 each a month. And between the four of us, that was $2,000 a month to $24,000 a year. And, by forming that investor group, by pulling our capital on a regular basis, eventually, within the first year, we had enough to invest in our first real estate syndication deal. And it was a physician's office in Pasadena, California. And it's amazing, Jonathan, as you know, how do you become an investor, right? And that's the blocker. The blocker is, I'm not an investor, but I want to be one. And, once you do your first deal, you get it, you've experienced it. And so we just kept going. We kept putting capital in, we kept reinvesting our capital. We kept putting, getting into more deals. One deal led to another, led to another, led to another. And now we look back and we realize that by the power of the tribe, by tribe vesting together in deals, we unlocked a future that we could have never dreamed of. And that's when we at some point, we kind of realized that, man, how did we get here? How did we do this? And we have to build a platform that we wished we had, to be honest. That's kind of how we looked at it.
Totally. I love that. As a fund manager, I completely relate, right? And obviously the idea of syndication in general is, ultimately what you described, right? Pulling resources together to accomplish something you couldn't accomplish on your own. And then, obviously when you get into doing these deals, especially these bigger deals, when you can pull together and, get better return economics, or just, bring more people into the opportunity than, maybe would have been able to, right? Just like you say, you build that tribe, and the next thing you know, you're getting more and more people involved. and it's really awesome. So I love it. I'm
Hey,
I'm
go
a
ahead and
big
say it.
fan.
It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun.
Yes. Oh, it's so
You're
fun.
bringing people together, and you're all growing together, and you're getting into the most proven asset class there is. It changes lives, and to be on a journey with other like-minded uh, people is fun. It's fun.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more. So I've done a little bit of research, but let's kind of jump into how it works, right? How the software works, the platform works. Obviously, we mentioned in the intro, could get a group together within little as 48 hours. So kind of touch on the process and, how people can use it to their advantage.
Awesome. So what I'm going to share is what we've built, which is a platform, and we'll talk about all the features and what's all there and why it works, and then we'll hone in on specifically investing into real estate and real estate syndications, and how this platform is now being leveraged by that industry. So, what we've built is the collaborative and banking infrastructure of the private investing world. So anybody, no matter what you're investing in, and it's active investors, passive investors, short-term rental, long-term rental, passive investing as an LP into real estate syndication, that's just real estate. And then we have others that are investing as angels into startups, or getting into private equity together, or investing in collectibles, or cars or art or whatever it is. I mean, you kind of name it. The platform gives you the tool, the utility to come together with others, form your entity, agree on the operating agreement, and pull capital, open up an FDIC insured business bank account. So we're doing all that back office work, right? We're integrated with the 50 Secretary of States. We'll get your articles of organization back. Sometimes that same day, depending on the state, averages about 2 to 3 days. And then within minutes of getting back that articles of organization for your LLC, we're opening up an FDIC insured business bank account. All this is happening on a shared, transparent Tribe dashboard. So all your members are, agreeing on the rules of the road. They're ratifying an operating agreement, so everybody's understanding how this all works. The LLC is official. You get your EIN, your employee identification number from the IRS, and it's official. Within minutes, we've opened up an FDIC insured business bank account, full service, making it easy to start pulling capital together, right? Members can start to put their capital in either on a regular basis or lump sums. And then all on this dashboard is keeping record of everything, right? It is a partnership in which you're operating. So on that dashboard, you're keeping track of your minutes and communications. You're managing your documents and all your records. You have a place to vote, a place to propose a motion and vote, and keep record of that. Your banking, your cap table, all your transactions are being tracked and managed. And again, kind of one of the things here is, why all of a sudden is group investing easy, safe, and easy and safe and inexpensive? And why is it becoming commonplace all of a sudden? Well, you think about it, we didn't invent group investing. The wealthy have been doing it forever. They just have attorneys at the ready and advisors at the ready to help them put it together the right way. And now what Tribevest is bringing everybody, making this accessible to everybody, is a platform that helps you set this up the right way, makes it really easy to operate. And so it's the technology that has unlocked this incredible tool of Tribevesting together. So that, I'll take a breath. That's that's our platform, and that is for $348 per year, or $29 per month, if you kind of look at it like that, per tribe, we offer all those services.
Wow.
The only thing not included in that is what's the cost of the state fee for the LLC. So that would be pass-through costs depending on the state you're in.
Right. Wow, that's incredible. So really full service, right? All you got to do is go to you guys. It doesn't require you to bring in attorneys, right? Everything is covered, which you're just making it as easy as possible, like you said, with the technology. Also love that you automatically open the FDIC insured business account as well. That's another step that can be intimidating to some people, right? And getting it correct, because I know that one thing for me, right, when I first did my LLCs, now I understand how it works, but I brought in an attorney, and that brought in an additional fee, right? But of course you want to ensure it's done right, so it's worth paying that premium. But a lot of people are intimidated because they hear LLC and opening a business, and it can overwhelm them. So you very clearly take that and make it as easy and transparent as possible, which I love, and I imagine the users love as well. So now let's kind of talk about using it to go invest, right? Obviously we primarily focus on real estate here on the pod, but like you said, there's collectibles, there's cars, there's all kinds of opportunities out there. I've even talked about oil and gas, and kind of there's a plethora of opportunities. So kind of talk about now how all of the technology comes together to allow you to go out and invest.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, so we've provided all that infrastructure, the utility, and making that easy. And we've just we've taken what's proven and made it really, really easy. And so that's the platform, right? And that's available to everybody. And now after you've created your tribe, you can invest in whatever you want, whatever you're investing in. If it's if you need to wire it to a sponsor or whatever it might be, you wire it to the sponsor. Giving you the ability to transact and do the deal together. So you think about that. There was 5, 10 of you. You came together. You pulled your capital, and now you're one investor going out and able to participate in these things that maybe you wouldn't have or couldn't have on your own. So it's pretty basic when you think about it. Now, when we start to hone in on real estate syndication, we've even built some more services around this, right? And when you're talking about being the investor, you're either an active investor or where you're the general partner, if you will, and that requires a lot of work, and depending on how you're putting it together, additional services in terms of attorney fees, which we don't get into. We really provide like really templated things, and it's primarily focused on that investor, right? The investor. So you think about the limited partner, the person that wants to invest in a deal and they want to do it passively. And a lot of times those have big thresholds. They can be 100,000, they can be 200,000. Very, very few are under 50,000. And so that becomes a barrier unto itself, right? Writing a big check like that. So Tribevest Pro does a couple of things. One, it's focused on real estate syndication, so working with limited partners, investing into real estate syndication. These limited partners can come together, form a Tribevest Pro tribe, pull their capital and get over certain thresholds so that they can participate together. Again, one check going out, getting over a certain threshold. So that works great for getting over a minimum, say it's $100,000 minimum just to get in. Or what if, if you could hit 500,000, you might go from like an 8% preferred or 7% preferred to an 8 or 9% preferred terms. So just by coming together with those, other investors, you get a better deal. I mean, you like the deal anyway, but what if you could get even a better deal? And that's a really cool tool as well. So it's not just about getting in, but it's also about maybe getting better terms on the same deal.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I said, as a fund manager, that's really, kind of that's why the fund to fund model is so, so frequently used, right? For that exact reason, right? I could invest 50,000 on my own and get, a certain return economic, or I could go get 10 other people to do the same thing with me. And, and that's why you're seeing a lot of these operators and sponsors having multiple share classes for this exact reason, right? Really incentivizing the fund manager or, the Tribe Pro to come in, combine their capital, and hey, in return for, putting together 500,000, we're going to give you a, better return. And
yeah, and I think like absolutely. And I think it's important to kind of understand why is that? Why do they offer better terms? And better than anybody, right? Being a fund manager, look, every check you get, it comes with work, right? You have to process it, and you guys are a growing company, so you have people that help you do this, but it comes in, and you have to process it, and then on the ongoing basis, right? If it's a distributing or cash flowing investment, which most of them are, there has to be a monthly or quarterly distribution that goes out. So the fund needs to process that, or the sponsor needs to process that, right? At the end of the year, you get a tax document, usually a K-1. And so for every investor, every check, you're sending that manager or that sponsor is sending out a K-1, and that just compounds, right? And so one of the reasons why they put these incentives in to hit a certain threshold with a bigger check is exactly that. You think about Super Tribe or Super LP or a Tribevest Pro, either investing into Jonathan's group or a sponsor. If you could come with $500,000, and there's 10 investors, but Jonathan only has to process one distribution on a regular basis. He only has to send out one K-1. And then that's the beauty of Tribevest, is we take care of that. So the one distribution check comes in, and now we've distributed to all the members based on their ownership of the tribe, and that's taken care of. One K-1 comes in. Well, we'll create K-1s for each member at the end of the year. So you can see how, where we fit in the ecosystem, and the fund managers love it when, their investors are forming Tribevest Pro tribes, and, sponsors love it. Same reason they love working with fund managers.
Yeah, absolutely. You made a lot of really great points there. And, and that is right. And it's not for those limited partners who don't want to have to deal with all of that, right? That's why a lot of them just stay on the limited side and just do one small check or maybe jump in on a fund, right? They don't want to have to handle all of that. But now you guys have made it. But maybe they have a bunch of friends who want to get involved as well, right? So, but they don't want to be the fund manager or the capital raiser, have to co-GP. So it's like, oh, well, yeah, you guys can also invest in this too if you want. But now you've made it so that, hey, I can bring all of my friends or, my network together that wants to invest in this. And instead of having to worry about being a fund manager and engaging attorneys and attorney fees and all of the back end work that goes on, it's all, handled in one location and done for you. So what does the Tribevest Pro look like? Is it a different pricing structure? Is it all part of the same thing? How do you kind of distinguish which one works better for you?
Yeah, it's a great question. And, we've been very intentional about how we built this. As I mentioned, we built out the infrastructure, the platform first. And really what we're doing is we're just leveraging the key services and features for this particular use case and adding on just an additional layer of that service. And then part of it is we're including everything, kind of to your point, what you were just saying, like, hey, you've maybe thought of this before, but it's usually a non-starter because no, I don't want to be the one that has to figure this out and everything else. And it becomes the reason why you don't do it, right? So now we've unlocked that. Cool, I can do it and it's not a huge effort for me. Yes, great. How do you make it not a huge effort for me? Well, everything in Tribevest Pro is included. So, the filing of the LLC, the registered agent, the automatic state report filing, all these kind of ongoing things that are like, they're you have to keep up on them. Well, it's all included in the Tribevest Pro, so you don't have to worry about it, right? Wait a minute, who's going to do all the distributions? Oh, part of Tribevest services is quarterly distributions for your members. Great. Wait, what about K1s? Oh, included in Tribevest Pro is that K1 tax service to create and distribute those K1s to each of your members. So you can really go in with this peace of mind that no, everything is really accounted for. Now, you're still active multi-membered partnership. We've just made it so turnkey and so easy that it's not a blocker, right? It's still a very serious business, but Tribevest has made it so easy and turnkey that it unlocks this opportunity. So that's how Tribevest Pro was built and built around. And as far as the costs go, it's $150 for each member for the first year. And then the second year after that, it's $100 per member for the year, and so on, all the way to dissolution. So, so what's really cool is, now we can spread that cost, include all those services in the deal, and then spread it across all those members. So it's no brainer. It's like $150 and like it covers all this. Yes. And then $100 each year after that. Yes. Includes the K1s, and you guys are going to do the distributions. Yes.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
So do you have legal and CPA, everything in-house, or how does that work?
Yeah. So, with these Tribevest Pros, they're really simple, governed by an operating agreement that is standard, right? It's a standard operating agreement. It's templated. And again, what's cool about these and important for them is it's only one deal, right? So how can Tribevest offer all these services if it was like a tribe that was kind of doing all sorts of things? We couldn't do that, right? So these Tribevest Pro tribes are only around one deal, and so much of this is like you need a champion, someone that initiates it. You need a deal, right? And you need all those members looking at the deal and wanting to do the deal. And then you need a group. You need a group of people that are all looking at the same deal and are excited about that deal and want to do this together. And you have those three things, you're in great shape. And then fourth, you need structure or governance, right? And in our case, we offer this multi-membered active membership operating agreement, and it's pretty straightforward. Now, we encourage you to take it and talk to your attorneys with it and everything else. We're not advising on that. We're not attorneys. We just, we have thousands of tribes on our platform, and this operating agreement is super straightforward, and you can leverage that, right, and use it. And so in that case, we've provided that structure templated for you too. So you have all four of those things. It becomes so simple and turnkey. And then, but as soon as you want to do what you're doing, Jonathan, right? Like becoming a true fund manager, and which is super exciting and important work. As you know, there's a lot more that you need to do, and we don't offer any of those services. So that's an important point. So anyway, on the attorney side, although we have in-house and ongoing attorneys that are always working with us, we don't offer that as a service to anybody. As far as the accounting goes, that is included in the K1 services. And we have CPAs that we're working with that help you process your K1s as per part of the Tribevest Pro services.
Interesting. Okay. That's awesome. I love it. So obviously, checked all the boxes, of course, right? We are overseen by the SEC. Were there any issues in the beginning, or was it pretty easy? Well, I shouldn't say easy, but was it straightforward in kind of getting these sort of cookie cutter operating agreement, cut and dry, kind of through all of that and make sure it passed the litmus test?
Yeah. So what's so great about this is we're not going into securities territory at all, right? And that's such an important point, right? And that's why, again, with what sponsors are doing, what fund managers are doing, they need to have their own counsel, right? They need to file with the SEC, right? And who we're serving are the investors, and we're giving them a platform to come together and form this multi-membered partnership to do whatever, that charter of that company, of that business wants to do. So you think about it, like if you were going to go out and, form a partnership and, a joint venture, right? A joint venture on an active investment, or, start a franchise with a business, with another partner, right? You're not creating a security. You're creating a joint venture, right? You're coming together and you're doing this together. And that's what Tribevest is doing. You're forming a joint venture. And it sounds funny. You're limited partners that are wanting to, get into a deal. They're coming together as active members of a business, a joint venture, in order to invest in deals. So that's really one of the magic parts of Tribevest is we've kept it so simple, yet our technology has really unlocked this power of the tribe and doing more together in this particular industry.
That's awesome. Well, I'm even more sold on it and even happier that I made the investment when I did. So one thing I just want to clarify for those who may still be confused, when you do form this membership, this LLC, you still are on the limited partner side just because you are a business, you are still an LP, considered an LP in the deal, correct?
Correct. And that's a good thing.
Yes.
Right? Like,
yes, no, absolutely.
You want to be a limited partner. They get the preferred terms. They're that's the safest place to be in those deals. So there's all these advantages of being a limited partner. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It is a little confusing. You're coming together to form a business where you're an active member. And then that entity, that Tribevest Pro, now is sending one check to a deal or a sponsor or whatever it might be. And that entity is now a limited partner into those deals.
Awesome. Yeah, thanks for that clarification. I just wanted to clear up any confusion there because and I'm right on board with that. That's why I am a fund manager. I prefer staying on the LP side. Love all the active people in the industry, but and there's some incredible operators and sponsors out there, obviously, which is why you stay on this side and you get to leverage that, incredible knowledge and track record that they've developed. So I love it. Well, Travis, this has been amazing. Really, really appreciate the insight and sharing everything that you've created, and look forward to obviously following along with you guys as an investor. So we'll go ahead and wind down here and we'll jump to the final five. First question, best advice you've gotten from a mentor?
Best advice I've gotten from a mentor is start. And, you don't learn by thinking, you learn by doing. And so I think I look back at a mentor that really urged me to go. Has been the best advice I've gotten.
Yep. I love that so much. It's so simple, yet it's the hardest part, right? It feels like that's what holds so many people back. What is it about your career that makes you feel like you're fulfilling your why?
Oh man, I count my blessings every day. I am so lucky to be the founder and CEO of Tribevest. The work we're doing is just so important, and it has to be, because this is hard. A startup is hard, and we're doing it. But if you aren't completely bought in and passionate and have your purpose and have your why, no way does this happen. So anyway, every day I'm so grateful to have this opportunity to impact the world. And that's what we're doing. We want to put a dent in the universe, and we're doing it by providing the infrastructure to help people invest in the private markets.
That's awesome. I love that so much. Favorite non-real estate or investment related book?
Lean startup. The lean startup, non-real estate, but it can apply to any business. It's awesome, and it's all about build it first, measure, and then learn, and then build it, measure it, and learn it. So when you're building a business, when you're doing anything, expect to fail, expect to fall, and then that's the feedback, and then you get to work, and then you get to work, and that's top of mind for me. It's required reading at Tribevest, and it was game changing for me when it's so counter to conventional wisdom. It's unbelievable. Yes. It's so counter to conventional wisdom. So I always know when I'm in a room where I'm thinking like a lean startup and other people are thinking about more things conventionally. And it's just like, oh my gosh, we're speaking different languages. So anyway, that book's game changer.
I love it. Yep. It's on the list. Gotten that before. Great book. If you could have any superpower, what would it be?
Superpower to be together more often, more consistently with those I love. That would be my superpower. If I could bring us together and so we can learn from each other, support each other, and just share an unconventional love more often would be my superpower.
I love that. That's awesome. Last one. What's the best way for people to get a hold of you and learn more?
So go to tribevest.com. You'll see kind of our standard, offering, and then you can reach out to us at contact@tribevest.com. If you're interested in this Tribevest Pro, I'll give you the URL to come to see if that's a good fit for you, because you will have a hard time finding that on our website. Yeah, that's a great way. And then, I'm probably most active on LinkedIn, Jonathan. So just Google me, Travis Smith, founder Tribevest, or, search me on LinkedIn and let me know you heard me on this podcast. I'd love to connect with you.
Absolutely. We will link down the show notes, make it super easy. Travis, again, thank you so much for your time. Really, really appreciate it.
Thank you. Enjoyed it. Thanks for all you're doing.
Absolutely. Thank you again for tuning in. Who do you know that wants more cash flow? Share this episode with them so you can grow your cash flow together. If you enjoyed the show, make sure you're subscribed on your platform of choice so you never miss a new episode. Go to KataniCapitalGroup.com to learn more.